And we're back. Back again. Time for more streaming. Final Fantasy XIV. Let's go ahead and switch right back, yeah? Alright, so last we left off, before lunch, I was finishing up dailies on Jaeger. We did everything that we could with Thunderin for now. I didn't want to unlock my expert roulettes on Thunderin just yet, because I wanted to get macros done first. So, let's go ahead and just get right back into it. Last thing on the to-do list for dailies is the main scenario. Then after that, we're going to check and finish job, or I'm going to finish the macros of Reaper, understanding what it is and figuring out how to best apply them to my current macros. So gluttony here is already figured out. I was just kind of thinking to myself, maybe I need to do more. I need to put gluttony in other places. Let's test this out until it's time to get into main scenario. Okay, so there's gluttony right there. Okay, gotcha. So gluttony should be able to do it this. Yeah, and I can do it twice. There's that. One more, and I think. There's that. So now I have Enshroud. So I feel like Enshroud should probably go in here. Gallows. Oh, I already have Gallows up. Okay. Got it. Probably means... Wait. Dot one. Looks like I have Gallows here as well. Let me see. Soul Slice. Yeah. Oh wait, I already have that. Put it here. Soul Slice. So if I do Gallows here, it should do... Sorry, it was a little too loud for me. Probably put Enshroud here. Let's see. Shroud. And here. So as soon as that happens... Void Weeping... and Cross Weeping... So Void Weeping can only be executed in Shrouded, recast, enhance Void Weeping potency. So it feels like it just goes back and forth. Because it's not saying anything about, like, needing to be positioned. You know, I actually probably need to also create, these here. Which is basically just a list to help me figure out what I need to aim towards. So let's go ahead and do that. So I got here Lemur's Scythe at 100. And I guess I will do all of that later. Need to move this over here because of Restream. Should give me enough time to change over. There we go. And let's just... I'm going to change to my tank playlist, which I do need to continue to remind myself to keep updating the invitation. So, like, right now you can't hear my music, and that's because, copyright reasons. But if you're looking at some of the songs that I'm listening to, and you want to join in, go ahead and Twitch, do !music joins, and that'll take you to a particular spot in my Discord channel. And there I have an invitation for you to listen to my playlist on your Spotify. I'll be controlling the music, but you'll be controlling the volume. So feel free to listen to my music, or listen to your music. My voice should be loud enough to oversee any songs that you might, unless, of course, you want to blow your music up. Or you want to blow the music up to the point where you can't hear me. That's up to you. Looks like we got a Santa. And our card looks like me. Oh, for a second there, I thought that was another player. No, it's just Sid. But you guys know what that means. Now that we're in the Praetorium, anytime there's a cutscene, I will update you guys on what I'm doing in Dokkan. I know, it's so crazy. And hello, Hollow. Nice to see you. So I was in a conversation with a friend earlier while lurking on your channel, and I joked that you kept getting the same instance over and over again. And yep, and I got it again. And I almost want to think that the game has an AI and is watching my stream as well, and is like, oh, you don't like this one, huh? Well, I'm gonna give it to you again until you like it. That's not how it works, AI. How you doing, Hollow? You having a good day so far? Oh, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Now follow me. We're stacking this up. Taking you all on. I have a clanmate who was complaining about getting one instance over and over again to the point of tears. Well, the thing is that if he's going into roulette, then he should understand that he's going into roulette. It's random. You have no control over it. You have to be okay with what you get. If you're not okay with what you get, then obviously you can, like, leave, but there's a penalty for that. So those are your choices. Either accept what the game is going to give you, or take the penalty and enjoy not doing what you really want to do, which is play the game, well, go into roulette for like 30 minutes. What else can you do? I'll tell you what, though. Accept the hand that dealt that or cry. Yep. So, something that I did do back in my earlier days, because I was playing Jaeger and Thunderin at the same time, and sometimes because of bathroom breaks or whatever, I would miss actually getting into the roulettes. And what I would do if I ever get that penalty, I would just switch to the other character and just continue on. So there's another benefit to playing multiple characters. If you get penalized and you have to wait 30 minutes, you really don't have to. You just switch to your other character. Speaking of other characters, my summoner Kara has been doing pretty well. She's like level 43 right now because she's been escorting my streamer Sprout friend around. And he just defeated Titan, and we're working our way through Karutha's right now with the Ishgardians. So he's getting really close. He's getting really close to the level 50 MSQ. And I'm looking forward to that, because my favorite expansion pack is Heaven's Ward. And one of the reasons why is because the post-ARR story was a real gut-wrencher. It was really good. So, I can't wait to see his reactions whenever he finally gets to that point. So, what's going on in Dokkan right now? I've got 28 stamina, which is enough to do 2 of this thing that I'm doing. Since you weren't here this morning, I'll basically tell you, I got done with doing my epic battles of Goku and Frieza, getting their medals. Finally got all that done. And as soon as that happened, and I was able to spend the money, or the zenny in the game, to actually max them out to their fullest potential, now I can start using my money towards the other cards that I've been grinding on the side and finally get them to level up. And I'm running out of money, because it was a lot. So much to the point where I've got another card that is ready to awaken into its next form. It's this Gohan card that I have. And so now I'm getting medals for that one. So I could probably spend the 28-30 stamina right now to get more of the medals that I need to level it up. But I mean, I just awakened the card. It's at level 1 right now. It needs to be level 120 to go to the next level. And that's whenever I need the medals. So I'm kind of working ahead. But I'm kind of just trying to slow down a little bit with my Dokkan leveling, because I leveled so much on the side that I need to, like, sit down and figure out, okay, what's next on my agenda? Like, I need my priority lists updated. I just realized how we have a Santa in the party. Yep. Yep, there's a Santa in the party. What do you want for Christmas, adventurer? Gil. Lots of Gil. I already have plenty of Gil. I don't know what I would want for Christmas. I told the party, I already have Gil. I want new furniture. I'm trying to get to the point where, I'm all caught up before I start leveling my crafters again. And as soon as I level my crafters, then I will create my own furniture for my house. My house, I have a few ideas that I want for... in my list that I want to get. It looks like my friend is watching me right now. Hello, friend. I don't know how you want to be called, so I'll just say friend for now. And I hope you had a good day, a good work day. And thank you for coming in. Hopefully I'm entertaining enough. And, friend, this is Final Fantasy XIV if you've never played this before. And I'm sure you know of the Final Fantasy franchise. This is just Square Enix's second MMO RPG. And it's really good because, I mean, I've been playing it since 2013 with little breaks here and there. But nevertheless, I've got 4 characters. 2 of them that I actively play. Yes, mysterious friend, Hollow. And, yeah, this is what I do during the day on Thursdays and Fridays. Since I don't have a regular day job anymore. As you can see on the side here, I'm looking for my next animation job. And, yeah, I'm basically a veteran player. And I'm trying to stream to the point where I want to teach people something that has a lot of angst against, which is macros. And the biggest thing about macros are that they're just code. And not a lot of people know how to code or how to utilize macros all that well. Hollow, not too sure how helpful Twitch would be for job hunting though. Yeah, I know. Here's how I think about it. That's what I did while I was working. As far as like white noise in the background, or my nostalgia because I was too busy playing Final Fantasy XIV. I was too busy to play Final Fantasy XIV because I was working, so I would watch other Twitch streamers so I could kind of get my fill. So, if me as an animator is doing that, I almost wonder if other artists and animators and people in the entertainment industry are doing the same. If they are Final Fantasy players and they can't play at the moment, so they watch someone else play and just talk about things, maybe they'll get to learn some things. And then they see that, hey, I'm an animator. This streamer's an animator. Hello, Jay. That must be my friend there. Had to make an account. Oh, I gotcha. Well, I do appreciate you making an account for me. Does that mean that you couldn't actually watch me until you created an account? Because I think you can also watch me on YouTube, and I don't think you need to make an account there. But obviously, if you want to follow and subscribe to me, and get those notifications of when I do come online, then obviously, yes, you're going to need an account. You can view but not comment. Gotcha. Well, it's all the same. I do appreciate you making an account, and hopefully you get to watch me and other streamers and get your fill of video games, or just hanging out with someone if you're feeling lonely. There's another category on Twitch called Just Chatting, and you can just figure out, you know, what other people are up to in the world, and you can hang out with them if you can't. If you can't do it physically. There's also other categories out there other than just games and just chatting. There was one that I was looking up called Software and Development, which is basically just a lot of, you know, coding artists, I guess you can call them. And they're just figuring things out, whether it's in After Effects or Maya or, I don't know. For me, I'll probably use some of that whenever I start building some of my tools that I use for some of my games. That'll be an interesting twist to add to my streaming entertainment schedule eventually. But yeah, I'm glad that you're actually here. We talked about us, like, catching up on things, and it'll probably last for hours, and I'm going to be streaming for hours. So, feel free to ask me what I've been up to. You haven't played Final Fantasy since Online came out. You tried 10. Did you like 10? 10 was the first one of the Final Fantasy series that actually introduced voice acting for the first time. All the other ones, that was like PlayStation 1, Final Fantasy X was PlayStation 2, obviously. They were mostly just sprites, and they were starting to introduce CG cutscenes. X was pretty divisive. Divisive? Are you saying like it was pretty split among the audience? Or the story was pretty divisive? There's people who like it and those that hate it. Yeah, no, I do get it. Because we were switching from what we already knew from active time battle. You know, those bars that would just fill up for each character. And then Final Fantasy X completely got rid of that. And then we did... no, wait, that was called active time battle. I forget which one is which, but this one had no bars. It was just like a priority list based on each character's speed, and the battle wouldn't continue forward until you took your turn. It was a different experience for me. Yeah, maybe that's why that turned off a lot of people. But me as a Final Fantasy fan, I kind of look at that and I'm just... But that's what Square has always done. They've changed up their battle system every single time. And I love the different varieties. Because they're always trying something new and different. And it's still good, in my opinion. Well, it's not all good. For example, I'm not a fan of Final Fantasy XIII's battle system. Oh, Final Fantasy XII's battle system, I completely abhorred. It was very code-based. And I kind of would just sit there because I would make these quote-unquote macros, and the game would almost auto-battle itself. To the point where I went through the game and I don't remember any of the story, and I finished it. Like, that wasn't that entertaining to me. Anyway. Final Fantasy XIV's battle system is, what could I compare this to? I mean, obviously I can compare it to Final Fantasy XI as far as, like, activating abilities and whatnot and having macros. Let's see. Party's saying, I'll see my little Timmy wish for world peace, so Santa's got his hands busy this year. Malls don't pay like they used to. That's what the party's saying. Colossus, so how did you go from your job with the Avengers to She-Hulk? Also, how did you go about getting the connections to get into the Marvel Universe? I think that was more of Marvel's fault than it was my own career. Because Marvel has been doing so much since I started working on Marvel titles. Like, my very first title was Ant-Man, and then eventually I got to work on Ultron, and that was all rotoscoping, depth art, compositing kind of stuff. Till I eventually got laid off because all the projects were over. 6 months later, I was able to get a job as an animator. And my very first project as an animator was Injustice 2. And I had a really good lead. Taught me everything that I needed to know for that particular project and its workflow, its animation style, and also some new techniques that he was doing in Motion Builder. And that was one of the reasons why I got the job, because whenever I was in school, I was so set on motion capture. I really loved it so much. So I kind of been promoting what I did at school, which you remember the Lindsay Sterling thing. And I got the job. To the point where I started working for them and I had a base knowledge of Mobu, which was interesting at first. He was teaching me all these new things. I was getting super excited about, like, all this cool new stuff. So eventually it came to the point where we got done with Injustice 2. Then we waited about a year or two to do Mortal Kombat 11, and I did Just Cause 4 in the middle of it. But I'm skipping over Just Cause 4 just for the reasons of what we did in Injustice 2 transferred over to what I was going to be doing for Mortal Kombat 11. It was the same work style, and I was still using Mobu and doing motion capture. It's like everything that I learned, I got to enhance a lot more on top of it because I knew what I was doing at that point. And I was creating my own techniques, and I was perfecting them. So, I, quote-unquote, was NetherRealm's animator for, like, 4 years. And then I got to work a little bit in Just Cause 4, which was more of my cinematic stuff instead of gameplay stuff. And then after that, it kind of got a little slow around the studio. But we did have some Marvel projects come through, and I got to mess around a little bit, both as an animator and on stage. I got to work the motion capture stage. Basically, that was super exciting. Like, I learned all this thing in Motion Builder, and then there's this other thing that I can do in Motion Builder, and it was stage work. I got to work the real-time camera, which, if you don't know what a real-time camera is in talking about motion capture, it's basically the window to the 3D world. You know how talent, actors, actresses, they get into a suit that is filled with these markers, and all of these cameras are paying attention to where those markers are in dimensions X, Y, and Z. that information gets sent over to the computer instantaneously. And what I did was I set up the 3D world. So anything that the talent was doing on stage physically would also happen at the same time in the 3D world on a 3D character, moving exactly the same. And also, if I had to set it up, I would have environments as well. We would put down, like, tape, so the talent knew where and where not to walk, and all of those environment and prop pieces were set up in the 3D realm as well. So anytime he would have to, like, walk around something, it would show up in the 3D world. Anyway, so how did I get to She-Hulk? Well, unfortunately, not a whole lot of work was coming through the studio I was working at the moment, and I was let go to save some money. And I totally understand their side of it, no harm done. I'm even looking to try to come back to that studio, but whenever I did left and I was hunting around, I reached out to one of my friends who works at the particular studio that was working on She-Hulk, and he just basically told me, it's like, oh, we're ramping up on this one project, and, like, they're asking for all animators. You could probably hop into this. So I did the interview, I got my referral, and the person that I was interviewing with, whenever I started talking about Motion Builder, he lit up, and it was like, that's actually a really good skill set. We should try to improve our pipeline and workflow, and have him help us on that. That's what he was saying to the side. I didn't know anything about that until after he hired me. So that was the reason why I got the job, and the demand for animation was high for this particular project. So then that's how I got to work on She-Hulk. That's the project that I got to hop on. And instead of doing all of this stuff in Motion Builder, I had to kind of figure out how to do motion capture in Maya. That was something new to me. But they had a good training system set up to figure out, you know, how to work all the studio's tools and proprietary tools and their workflow and how they use Maya with motion capture to give it that Marvel-esque quality. And that's what I did for 6 months. I was having a lot of fun. They were giving me, like, really simple shots at first, but I was moving so fast. It was coming to the point where, like, I got my first 3 assignments. They were too easy. And so I was, like, begging for more. And they're like, oh, here's more. We'll try to find more later.
A power level?
Thank you for following, Colossus. I appreciate that. Get to tell you my entire story here. Yeah, they started me off slow, and I was moving too fast. I was finishing them up pretty quickly. And eventually it came to the point where they stopped giving me simple shots. They leveled me up to doing facial animation. They wanted to see how well I could do on that, and I think I did pretty well. And then whenever they assigned me my next shot, they didn't have any motion capture available, so I was like, okay, what would you like me to do? Would you like me to, like, help you find the motion capture? Or would you like me to just keyframe the thing? Because it was simple enough that I knew I could at least do it. And my lead said, we actually don't have any motion capture for this because the talent was just a stand-in, so you're gonna need to keyframe it, and that's what I did. So then after that, they started trusting me more and more with more complicated shots. I never got the most complicated because that was going to other animators that have already been on the project already for like 6 months. So I was basically just getting whatever was remaining. until we got to work on... I shouldn't say this part, because it's a spoiler, so... I'll just say that I got to work on something else She-Hulk related. It was super exciting, and whenever you guys get to see it, whenever it's released in the episodes, I hope you enjoy it as much as I did creating it. So there we go. My projects that I've worked on Marvel base has been Ant-Man, Age of Ultron, Ant-Man 2 and the Wasp, believe it or not, and She-Hulk. So, like I said, it's not that I did anything to grab Marvel. It's more of just Marvel has been making so much stuff that they're just keeping the entire industry busy. Speaking of She-Hulk and what has been released that I can tell you what's mine, I haven't seen the 3rd episode yet. It just released today, so I'll be watching that later tonight with my wife. And other than that, the work that I have done on She-Hulk that I can tell you is in episode 2. And I know exactly when the timing is. It's minute 316 to 320. She-Hulk is in the bar, and, like, she just walked in, and is getting a drink, and then this dude comes up and starts saying, "Oh, you just changed into a Hulk just for show." My part was the moment whenever she looked at him, like, leaned back and said, "Only you would think that. That is my shot." We can ask your fan base to edit your face onto She-Hulk. What? No. I'm not pretty enough to cover She-Hulk's face. Unless it, like, becomes, like, a meme thing or a GIF that I have to add to my stream. Something that I'll have to create later. Alright, so... that is the end of dailies. That was the last one that I need to do. So I'm going to move on to macroing for this job right here called Reaper. But first, I need to turn my AC on because I am getting hot. This is my baby right here, my brand new computer that I call Beast. And it's super powerful. Like, I'm able to play games and stream at the same time, which is nice and everything. And it is packed with a 3080 Ti graphics card, but unfortunately that graphics card runs hot. And it's been running hot all day, and here in Los Angeles, it is currently 90 degrees. We're currently going through a heat wave, so I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot trying to stream today. But I currently live in an apartment that does have AC, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it on. I will be right back. I'm going to go ahead and just turn the music up a little bit until I get back. Alright, I am back. Bad news. Good news is that I'll still stream, but my AC isn't working. Ooh, I just got some really cold water to help cool me down. So I had the AC technician come in later today because my AC was squealing. And they came in and they said that they're going to replace the motor because that's where the squealing is coming from. And whenever they left, I thought they said that the AC would still work. But whenever I went to go check it, it was already on, but it wasn't working. So I am currently sitting in a 86 degree room right now. I'm sweating. Your flywheel was bad? What's a flywheel? Anyway, so yeah, I'm really hot right now, and this isn't helping. I'm gonna be streaming until 5 o'clock, which is about 2 hours and 15 minutes away, so I hope I can handle this. Oh, so my watch, which tells the current temperature, just said that it's 88 now. So, it's going down. It is afternoon, so the sun shouldn't be at high noon anymore. Okay. Get back in the game. And I'm gonna change my playlist to something a little bit more relaxing. Don't need anything more pumped up anymore. If you want to listen to my music, make sure you go and hit !music join to go to my Discord, and then you can go to the invitation to listen to my music on your Spotify. Currently playing right now, my playlist is called Final Fantasy Relaxing Downtime. This is all music that's supposed to be really chill, really cool, instrumental songs. Like what's being played right now is Aerith's theme from Final Fantasy VII, made by Tiger. And it's a piano melody, so it's really nice. And I kind of need that for now because I'm going to be focusing on macros. Who in here loves coding? It seems like I do. So the last thing I was working on was Enshroud. And Enshroud here makes me turn into a Reaper. Like I am a Reaper, but like a Death Reaper. So I just figured that part out. It's this second gauge bar here that helped me with that. And I was adding it into where I thought it would work best. So here's my battle macros and stuff. Yeah, I didn't put it here. So I need to put it here. And I'm mostly just going back and forth to make sure that I'm doing it exactly how it is in the other one, because these two macros are relatively the same. The only difference is one I attack from the rear, and the other one I attack from the side. So I think this. See, why is this? Why is copy paste not working? Why is my keyboard not working? IT, did you plug it in and out? See if it works now. Copy. Why is it not working? No, I'm able to type there. That's working. Why is my... This is so weird. What did I do to deserve this? There it goes. Well, that's just coding life for you. I just never had it happen to a keyboard. My code is broken. I don't know how this happened. My code works. I don't know how this happened. And then paste that, and I think that is exactly like the other. Yep, except for Gallows, which is the difference between these two. Okay, so Enshroud is in, and it'll already be set up whenever I change into the Death Reaper. These are the only two buttons that I need to worry about. Colossus, I had a motor burn out on my house a while ago. It was making a similar sound. The motor was off balance. Didn't think anything of it at the time. Next thing we knew, we heard an explosion. There is something inside the unit called a squirrel cage. It's a cylindrical fan blade that pushes air through the hose. When I opened it up, it threw shrapnel all over the unit. Oh. Well, it's a good thing that I have a very active landlord who takes care of my unit. The maintenance guy that came in, yesterday told me that he was checking on another AC unit that was basically doing the same thing, so I guess it's good that I said something so he could check it out before, I guess, it shrapneled all over the place. That's good water. Yeah, but I like my landlord. I love that she keeps up with all these units. Because there's like 3 floors of units. And she's really nice. She takes care of all of us. So it's really good. Alright, on to Soul So. What is Soul So? Grants Soul So to self, changing the action to Harvest Moon. Alright, let's take a look. It's not an upgrade, but cast time is instant when used outside of battle. So, but how do I use this? Oh, it's because I'm level 80 and this is 82. Changing the action to Harvest Moon. Here, Harvest Moon. Deals unexpected damage to target and all enemies nearby with a potency of 600 for the first enemy and 50% 300 for all remaining enemies. Okay, I just remembered that I need to create this here, which is basically me trying to figure out which ability do I need to do the most often to do the most damage. So this is going to take a while, but this is part of my macro process. First, find which one you need to do the most. So I was first working with Lemur's Scythe here, which is a potency of 100 to all enemies in a cone before you. So what I do is it's 100 potency. There might be other 100 potency attacks, so that's what's first. And then I do the name of the ability, Lemur's Scythe. And then if it's an AoE, I describe what kind of AoE it is. Unless it's just a circle AoE, then I just call it AoE, because I don't know why area O is a circle. So it's like a visual for me. Anyway, next I have here Lemur's Scythe. And that is 200. I think this can only be done when you're a Death Reaper. Okay, next Harvest Moon is 600. And Harvest Moon. And that is AOE. Yeah, it doesn't say cone, doesn't say line, so it's just an AOE that is probably encircling all of me. So that's pretty powerful. It looks like I only need to have Soul to do it. Changing the action to Harvest Moon. Cast time is instant when used outside of battle. So it almost feels like Soul here should be out. And because it's a spell, I could probably cast it from a range. Well, no range on Soul, but yes, there is a 25 yalm range on this spell, so I can cast it from afar. My question is, like, do I put it here? Soul. I don't know exactly how this is going to work just yet, because I feel like this is a lot more complicated than I remember Final Fantasy. Yes, this is much more complicated, and it's only related to Final Fantasy XIV and Final Fantasy XI, macros, and Final Fantasy XII. This is all kind of a macro coding-based system, and you do not have to do this. I'm only doing it because it makes it easier to play on a controller. I mean, you can just take a look at this list here, and you can just see how many buttons there are. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 3 is 24. And then here, these are the buttons that I can do with my controller. I press right trigger, and I can do these 8. And then I can do this trigger and do these other 8. You'll be using your whole keyboard if you're playing that way. Yeah, exactly. So, macros just cut, for me, and how I use them, I don't know how other players use them, but they cut down on the amount of buttons that you have to push. I've reduced mine to mostly focus on 3 macros, and then everything else is just, like, situation-wise of when I need to use these other buttons. I understand your frustrations. I have done this with World of Warcraft. Ah, gotcha. So hopefully I'm teaching you a little something different here. Okay, so with Soul and I'm just trying this out. Because I need to do Soul, and what's the duration on this? Huh. It's just a 250 recast. What's this? It's a 250 recast. I wish I had the levels for this so I could understand this particular, so I'm only guessing at this point. This reminds me of all the UI editing we did when we were learning Maya and Python. Yes, it is exactly it. And surprisingly enough, that class is the reason why I'm doing this. A little side quest to my story here about Marvel and stuff, and just my career in general. So we took that class for coding, Maya, Python, Mel, and then a few months later, whenever we were about to graduate, we were setting up demo reels and our website so people would be attracted to us and we would have a place to promote all of our work. I was creating my own website, and I've never done that before. I don't know anything about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or anything. And I sat down during the course of that work and learned. And after I built my website, then I started getting into, paying my bills, paying the loans, and all that stuff. And I was trying to keep it all in my head, all the calculations in my head, which I'm really good at math, but it was giving me a friggin' headache trying to keep track of all of my expenses, debts, bills, and just groceries and whatnot. I eventually used that knowledge from the class and what I learned from making my website, went into Microsoft Excel and started quote-unquote coding functions and formulas to do all of those calculations for me. And now I have this like sophisticated auto-calculating, auto-updating budget sheet that tells me where I need to put my money and when bills are going to be due. And then after I created that, then I created another tool for this other game that I play here on my Mobu. He must have forgotten to turn it back on. It's on his way and he will turn it on. Oh, okay, cool. So I was talking to my landlord and told her, like, the AC's not working and it's 81 degrees right now. So my maintenance guy should be coming in. So I better lower this a little bit. Back to my story about coding. Here. Check with OBS so I can see myself doing this. This is the other game that I play. Come on, camera. You can see it. Focus. Focus. If you can't see it, I'm pretty sure you know who these characters are. Anyway, this is... this here, these... Come on, focus. Focus. Don't focus. How about that? There you go. And if I turn it, yeah. So you kind of have to see this a little bit sideways. But all of these here, all these characters, are cards. If you know anything about Magic the Gathering and deck building, this is what is the digital version of it for me right now. And all of these cards can be built into teams. And if you didn't read the text down there, I have almost 600 cards in this game to create teams with. And that gets very daunting. You actually have to find the best team layout because there's a lot of other different functions to those cards and they help make each one stronger based on these things called link skills. I created a tool that basically not only is going to help me figure out which cards are the best suited to make each one more powerful, but find cards that make each other powerful in the same team setup. So that is another Google Sheets formula function thing that I created, and now I'm updating it to do more. And like all of that knowledge, I go back here to Final Fantasy XIV and all this macro stuff, and I'm just like, this is all the same. It's just, it's different languages. You've got HTML, CSS, JavaScript, functions, formulas, After Effects expressions too. I've also created some coding stuff for After Effects as well. And then you've got Final Fantasy XIV macros. You just gotta know how to understand the language, and once you do, you can create some powerful stuff. Hello. I find it funny that I hate math and quite frankly suck at it, but I'm actually pretty good at innately budgeting. Well, that's good, because as human beings who has bills to pay, we all should be pretty good at budgeting. If not, I'm hoping that you at least make enough money to pay all your bills, and maybe have a little something left over for fun money, or saving up for vacation, or working towards a retirement. Colossus, that's incredibly funny. My first job after school was working at a defense company. The website I created for my demo reel got me my job. I had told them I wasn't a web developer. He asked me, okay, but can you do the job? And I said, sure I can. Obviously because I needed the job at the time, so I learned HTML in a week and watching YouTube videos on CSS and HTML. Yeah. And I don't know how you feel about learning stuff, but I guess as human beings, we're always learning stuff. It's just, do you have the drive to learn more? Like, did you feel like you had to learn HTML, or did you take it a step further, and not only did you have to learn, you wanted to learn? And did you do anything more on top of it? Like, did you expand your knowledge to do other things in your life? Or was it just for that job and then it's done? It's kind of amazing how, like, certain things that you've learned in your life, and it may not exactly relate to what you're trying to do, either in your profession or something that you're working towards, but it may open up different pathways and opportunities for you to be like, huh, I never thought of it that way, and actually take it. Okay, what am I doing next? Lemur Slice, Harvest Moon. I already got Harvest Moon. And I kind of coded it. I'll double check later. I only have it in this one because, I think... Oh, I can put it here as well. Let's do that. Also... And then so here. And there. Is that all the same? Yep, it is all the same. Oh, except I'm missing something. So twice here. Hell's Egress will try to go next. But I need another one here. I don't know if I really should, because that's like 3 seconds later. 3 seconds is a long time. Well, maybe I shouldn't. One of the rules that I'm trying to tell myself in macroing is don't do anything beyond 2 seconds. Because then you'll start getting abilities that you've prioritized to do first, and it might do itself again and mess up your flow. I just got, I'm guessing it's a recruiter of some sort that is interested in talking to me. So I'll check that one out later after stream is over. I've been working really hard with my job hunting. I do that Monday through Friday, almost nonstop until 5 o'clock when my wife comes home. And I've been getting a lot of interest. There's a lot of jobs out there for me. Just no one has given me a concrete offer yet. So I'm just gonna continue sitting here and waiting. So, okay, so here's another 200 potency. And it's Grim Reaping. So that one's gonna go here. Grim Reaping. And Grim Reaping is a all enemies, so it's an AoE. It's a cone AoE. AoE. Colossus. From there, I had a subsidiary company make automotive gauges, and they asked me to update all of the product images. There were so many, we didn't have physical product for. There were so many we didn't have physical product for because they were made to order. What they did have were the CAD drawings for all of the faces. So I took the opportunity to make 3D model of the gauge housing, and took screen snips of all of the faces, and then replaced the texture for each face and added emissive to make the products look real. Awesome. And you use Marmoset to render and swap them real time. That is awesome. And that's being creative. And I love that. See, sometimes the skills that you learn find new ways of promoting itself. Alright, Cross Reaping. It's a 460, but enhanced reaping potency of 520. Can only be executed while under the effect of Lemur Shroud. Oh, I think I hear Tony. My maintenance guy will be right back. Alright, we are back. And the AC is working! Actually, let me go ahead and switch this over. So I can be like, it's working! Do my little dance. So it's pumping cold air right now. I can feel it right here on my forehead. So I'll be good. And I've got a temperature gauge over there, so I'll be able to pay attention to how much cooler it gets here. Actually, I should probably also turbocharge my fan that's been blowing this entire time to keep me as cool as I can. Turbo-tastic! Alright, so, while the room tries to cool itself down, we can go back to figuring out macros! Alright, no, I do not want to teleport. That's not my intention. Where was I on? Was I on Grim Reaping? I think so. Nope. I was on Cross Reaping. Wait. Enhance Shroud. Grants Void Shroud upon landing, Void Reaping, Cross Reaping, or Grim Reaping. So, some of these abilities, they upgrade and change some things around, and since I'm doing this backwards, almost, I should probably change this around. So I got Regress, I know what that is. Void Reaping... Void Reaping, Enhanced Void Reaping... only be activated with Lemur Shroud. Grim Reaping. I think that's gonna change from my AoE ability. Is there a trait that at least talks about it? No. No, that's not helping. I don't think this is gonna help me either. Once enshrouded, they're consumed using power. I don't know, this ain't telling me anything about how these change. Because these are, like, grayed out. I can't, like, actually drag them like I can these. Because these are actual abilities. These are, like... It upgrades. Like, these abilities upgrade to these down here. And I just gotta figure out which one is which. I don't think Enshroud is on a timer... It is on a timer. It's a duration of 30 seconds. So I can only figure out so much. But I feel like I need to. This is also part of testing. This might take a while because I currently don't see any ability where it adds more to my gauge to do this faster. But you can kind of see the rotation that I'm doing based on the buttons. Everything that has like a dotted line over is the next piece in the rotation. And then if there's nothing to rotate, I go back to my first attack. And I'm just gonna have to keep doing this until you see that, that bar that's starting to grow into blue. I gotta wait until that hits 50, and then I'll start being able to figure out Void Reaping, Cross Reaping, and Grim Reaping. I did it earlier, but I mean, I'm still figuring it all out. I'm learning. And you know, part of coding is testing. Making sure that it works. I have done that with all of my abilities thus far. And that's why they're good. Because they're tested and proven to work. Okay, and what is this? Gallows? There. I just wanted to do that because if I pressed this button, it would have gone into Enshroud. And I don't want to do that because I want to be prepared. Give me Gallows, give me Guillotine, and Gibbet. I think Gibbet is the... Oh no, Guillotine is the AoE. Can you chain abilities with macro? Yes. It depends on what abilities you're asking about. So, these three right here, Slice, Waxing Slice, and Infernal Slice, are your main three attacks. The Final Fantasy damage jobs are all usually based around three attacks that must be made in succession. And if you noticed, whenever I would do an attack like Slice, you see like there's this clock that kind of shows amongst all these buttons. That little animation is what is known as a global cooldown. And that affects specific attacks that usually involve you working in a combo rotation. Now, you can stack and quote-unquote chain other abilities to it, and that's what I was kind of doing with some of the other things that were happening. Like, for example, Infernal Slice is a macro, and it has all of these other stuff stacked. So, excuse me. What's going to happen first is Feint. And this is Feint. Lowers target's physical damage by 10% and magic damage dealt by 5%. So, it lowers physical... It lowers the target's attack. I don't know why I have that in there then. That should be in here for defense. Anyway, so let's just say, because I think Feint used to be lower target's defense, so it makes my attack stronger. And that's why it's priority number 1, because I want to get that, what is it called? A debuff. It's called a debuff. I want to get that debuff on first before I do my next attack, because the third attack in this rotation, which is Infernal Slice, does a bunch of damage when it's followed in its rotation. Here it is, Infernal Slice. So originally it just has a potency of 140, but because it's in the rotation, it has a potency of 460. And then also I get an increase of 10 to the soul gauge. So that's part of the chain. It'll do Fate first, and if Feint isn't available, it'll try to do Infernal Slice. And then no matter which one of these activates first, it's going to wait a second, and then it's going to check to see the next grouping that I have here. It's first going to check Infernal Slice first. So usually in the case, if I Feint first, whenever that second passes, then it'll try Infernal Slice. But if Feint was available and it activates Infernal Slice, then that 1 second is going to pass. It's going to check here and it says, oh no, you've already done it, Infernal Slice. I can't do this right now. It'll check the next line, and then it'll try to do Soul Slice. And that Soul Slice is right here. Delivers an attack with a potency of 460. And I think it can only... Oh wait, no, I can do this right now. That particular ability, Soul Slice, as you can see, it's an instant cast. And, I see you're welcome. Yeah, that's the thing with Mechos. Sometimes you just gotta update them because the abilities update. Soul Slice is not part of the global cooldown abilities. It's an off cooldown ability. And what an off cooldown ability means is that it has its own cooldown. Nothing else gets affected by it unless it says right in here, shares a recast timer with Soul Slice. So this off time, if I activate Soul Slice, it has a wait time of 30 seconds before it's ready again. And that will be the same for the other ability, Soul Slice. If Soul Slice is not ready, then it'll go and try to do Bloodstalk. And here's Bloodstalk. And this is what Bloodstalk looks like. I'm sure whenever you were watching me actually try to test, you saw that Death Reaper, right? That is part of this macro. It first did Infernal Slice because Feint wasn't ready. It didn't have Soul Slice ready, so then it did Bloodstock. Or Soul Slice was ready, then it waited a second, and then it checked these last three, which is Infernal Slice, which I probably already did, Bloodstock, which I probably already did, and then doing Soul Slice as the final hit. Huh. That's interesting. I just got a tell from someone asking if I was quitting Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, they are quitting. 300 million giveaway starting in 15 minutes. And then it has the Square Enix forum link. I'm gonna pass. I don't need 300 million gil. I don't know what to do with all of that. What, buy a mansion? I don't need a mansion. Anyway, so to summarize your question, can you chain abilities with macro? Yes, that is part of why macros are so powerful. And that's what I'm trying to figure out, too. So now that I've got 50, I can do Enshroud here, and I'm guessing Gallows, Gibbet, and Guillotine here are going to change to Void Reaping, Cross Reaping, and Grim Reaping. So I'm going to go ahead and test that right now. Yep, I got Cross Reaping, Void Reaping, and Grim Reaping. Okay, that's all that was, and I can only do it when I'm in... whenever I've activated Enshroud, and I can only do it within those 30 seconds, or use up all of the stacks that come with when you activate Enshroud. So now that I've at least gotten that part tested, and walk away from here so I don't annoy Hollow with my constant physical attacks, and continue on to my list here. So Grim Reaping is already in there, Cross Reaping 520. And now that I understand a little bit more of what this is all about, the enhanced crop reaping potency happens when I do Void Reaping, and then it just bounces back and forth. So now that I know exactly how to get that potency, I don't have to worry about the difference between them. And I can just write down 520. Almost lost my controller there. 520 Cross Reaping. And it's not an AoE, it's just a single attack. So I don't have to write anything else. And then Void Reaping is just the same, with the same enhancing potency. Grim Reaping, 200 to all enemies, and there's no enhancement, so that's all I can do. Regress is nothing special, it's just a portal that, if I wanted to, like... Here, let me show you. Actually, I'm gonna need some room. Alright, check this out. Backward Harp. And then, there, you can see the portal. So if I do this, I go right back to the portal. That's all what Regress is. It's a nice way to move quickly without moving. Alright, Unveiled Shadows is 400. Unveiled Gallows. And I'm doing this, if you didn't hear me earlier, I'm only doing this because I need to figure out which attack I need to activate the most so I can do the most damage. And so far right now, it's Harvest Moon. And there's Harvest Moon right there, activated by Solso. So I've already macroed that in. I probably need to do it more. Can only be executed while under the effect of Solso. I feel like there's something more to this. Because if it's a 600 every single time, there needs to be something more powerful than Harvest Moon. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Summon your avatar, deliver attack of 400. Unveiled Gibbet is also 400. Unveiled Gibbet? Gibbet. Gibbet. Alright, this is something that I don't have activated yet because my Reaper is still at level 80, and this will be available at level 90. 1000 potency. So now this became the most important thing to activate. Deals unexpected damage to target and all enemies nearby it with a potency of 1000 for the first enemy and 60% less for all remaining enemies. So that is, what, 300 for the remaining enemies? Which is still pretty good. Enshrouded effect expires upon execution. Requires at least 1 stack of Lemur Shroud to execute. Oh, okay. So. What days do you stream, and do you do all FF games? My schedule's a little wonky. Because I'm in this, like, transition phase of, I used to have a day job, now I don't have a day job. So, let me tell you the schedule that is basically been established. I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays. Usually Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will stream 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's going to be really late for you and anyone else that lives on the East Coast. But on the weekend, Tuesdays and Thursdays is Final Fantasy XIV, but on the weekend, I stream a different game, City Skylines. City Skylines is like SimCity, but in my personal opinion, it's a little bit better. And that is a little wonky because I stream around my real life. And sometimes I've got things to do on Saturday, and sometimes I've got things to do on Sunday. I've at least communicated enough with my wife to say, like, okay, we can do other stuff on the weekend, but I at least need to stream once on the weekend. So, if you want to catch me playing City Skylines on the weekend, catch me either Saturday from 2 to 6 p.m. or Saturday 8 to midnight. This is all Pacific Standard Time. Or Sunday from 2 to 6 p.m. And what's really cool about City Skylines, what I'm trying to do right now, is I'm building up 2 brand new cities. One is for myself because I just got the expansion pack for the specialized industries, so I'm learning how to do that, and all of the knowledge that I've figured out from my other cities and how to control the traffic and make the city grow. That's Industry City. But there's another city that I am starting. I'm working on at the same time. And I'm doing it at about an hour each time I'm playing City Skylines that day. And that city is called Stream City. Stream City is all about my community here on Twitter. Not Twitter. Maybe Twitter. That would be a lot more people. But Twitch and YouTube. Anyone that follows me or subscribes to me will automatically get a house in Stream City, in the community district. And to further that, anytime that there's an interesting conversation, or you've been a long time follower of my stream, you can get some extra benefits, like having a road named after you, or you have an interesting conversation with me, and then we name a building or a bridge or whatever after that conversation. And that is something that I'll post up on my Discord, and it will be known for the rest of the time as long as the city continues to grow. But now that I don't have a day job anymore, my schedule has changed a little bit. I still stream on Tuesday from 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but Thursdays, I've switched it up. Because I job hunt Monday through Wednesday, I leave Thursday and Friday to be the days where I stream during the day. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Thursdays and Fridays are also Final Fantasy XIV. I'm going to be able to get a lot of things done because I'm kind of behind on the player base, and I'm almost there. So these day streams are going to help utilize me getting closer to where the rest of the players are. And then maybe I'll be able to do some epic battles, be part of some static teams, so you guys will see some really cool bosses that we'll be fighting against, and you'll probably see me die a lot. Maybe you'll get to see me be more frustrated than me being relaxed on my stream most of the times. So yeah, that's pretty much my schedule at the moment. Tuesdays 8 to 10, Thursdays and Fridays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m, and then either Saturday or Sunday. Saturday being 2 to 6 or 8 to 12, or Sunday 2 to 6. The weekend is just kind of confusing. I'm getting tongue-tied here. I basically, on the weekend, is one stream, and there's 3 options of when I will stream. I did my best to describe that here on stream, but if you need a written guide of my schedule, go ahead and head over to my Discord, and if you want to know what my Discord is, there is an action command that you can do on Twitch called Discord. And there you can join me there whenever I'm offline or I'm talking about things, some interesting ideas that I want to do for stream, my schedule's there, or maybe some of the games that you play, that I play on stream, we can, talk about achievements. And something else that I like to do in my stream is I want to share everyone's creations. Whether it's content creation or art or animation or cosplays, just whatever it is creative. And I want my community to be a hub where we can all appreciate everyone's creativity and promote and approve everyone's creativity. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I need to really streamline my spiels here with, so what's my schedule? What do I do here? Might have to write them out. Anyway, back to macroing, because I'm really trying to get this done. And it is currently 3:40, so I have an hour and 20 minutes to figure out Reaper. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to do this tomorrow, and I kind of don't want to. I've been doing macros for a few days now, and I just want to be done. So, Communio, COMMUNIO, and I think that said it was an AoE. Yep, it's just a regular AoE. That's a powerful one, too. Alright, Plentiful Harvest delivers an attack to all enemies in a straight line before you with a potency of 520 for the first enemy and 60% less for all remaining enemies. It costs an Immortal Sacrifice. 1 stack. Potency increases up to 800 as stacks of Immortal Sacrifice exceed minimum costs. Also has an additional effect of increasing the shroud gauge. Which one's the shroud gauge? Is that the shroud gauge? Okay, so the shroud gauge is the blue one, and the soul gauge is the red one. Okay, so that's where my boost comes from. Increases shroud gauge by 50. Cannot be executed while under the effect of Blood's Own Circle. What's Blood's Own Circle? Sometimes you hear these abilities that are brand new to you, you have no idea what they are, and you create macros for them, and then years later, you still don't know what they are. You just know that you've created your macros to work at a certain time and they're just supposed to do its thing. And my mental thought is just, where do I need to be? Or will the macro take care of it itself? I really won't know much. Well, let's see if I can try to figure out where I can find Immortal Sacrifice. That would be in here in the traits. Now, Plentiful Harvest is 88%, or level 88, so I gotta find a trait that's around level 88. Here's Enhance Arcane Circle. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, there it is. Grants Circle of Sacrifice to you and nearby party members upon executing Arcane Circle. When you are party members under this effect successfully land a weapon skill or cast a spell, you may gain a stack of Immortal Sacrifice, up to a maximum of 8. Also grants Blood's Own Circle to self, allowing you to receive stacks of Immortal Sacrifice from party members under the effect of your Circle of Sacrifice. So, that means that I need this in my macros. And I need it to happen almost immediately. So I feel like I'm going to be creating another macro here. Because Shadow of Death afflicts Death's Design, and I need to keep that up so I can increase my soul gauge. So, Arcane Circle to here is 120 recast. So, and I can never keep track of abilities that have a recast time that long. But if I'm doing something that I don't need to do that often, but I still need to keep up with it, then eventually Arcane Circle will just be a part of it. So let's make a macro. Shadow of Death. I should have just copy-pasted. See? So remember, every macro begins with an M icon. This will make this icon here change to the actual ability. Next, do the actual ability itself, and you do not have to do this part, the T, but I do it because I don't want to, like, accidentally activate anything if it doesn't require a target, so this is just for safety. After that, wait, dot 1, and then AC Arcane Circle. And that'll be another T. I'm gonna put that here. And then let's go over here to Oral of Death. This is just like Shadow of Death, but this is the AoE version. It still afflicts target with Death Design. So, where are you? Yeah, I'll just do this. Go to a new macro. C M icon Oral of Death. Give it a title. And it's going to work exactly the same as this. But instead of Shadow... Come here. Come here. There we go. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Hold on. I'm messing up too much. I'll get this. There. I just need to write it out. And then plug it in, plug it in. Okay, so what is next? Hold up. That was my landlady. She was telling me that the AC technician is coming by right now to get my motor switched out, so I don't have the squealing anymore. So, sorry, that was pretty quick, because I was like, I don't recognize this number, but I should probably pick it up for reasons. Okay, so let's try to finish these macros. So where was I? Was I at Plentiful Harvest? Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and go to another break since my wife is here. We're gonna talk about some stuff. It's just been a busy day today. Well, today is going to be a fun stream to cut later. So, I haven't really been doing a whole lot of clipping on Twitch. I've mostly just been going to YouTube the very next day and cutting out all of the music parts. So YouTube doesn't come up to me and be like, hey, you're using copyrighted music, we're gonna mute you. I'll just go in there and I'll just cut all of these sections off, and all that will be left is the game time and me talking to you guys. I've only usually just have to cut 2 parts, maybe 3 parts, but because of all of the breaks that I've been having throughout the day, that's a lot. And all that editing time comes through how much time I have to do other things. And it just feels like it's a waste. And that's one of the reasons why I job hunt Monday through Wednesday, and I leave Thursday to Friday to streaming, because this is the time that I get to focus on gaming. But because of the AC and the heat wave that is going on in Los Angeles right now, the AC is kind of important, so I gotta take care of it. But I don't know. I just feel like I need to apologize that I keep running off and taking care of other things instead of taking care of my stream. I mean, it's not a big deal at this point in time because I'm still a small streamer, but at the same time, I still have viewers that come in, like Hollow and my friend Colossus now, and Rin and Neko, and you know, they want to see what I'm up to. And if I keep on leaving, I mean, that's like I'm ignoring, and I don't want to do that. So the AC technician is coming right now. My wife is taking a quick shower, so that scenario doesn't happen. And I don't know when they're going to be here, but if they show up at 5, that works out for you, the viewers, and me, the streamer, because I'm shutting down at 5 o'clock. They show up before then, it almost feels like this last hour I gotta cut off stream because I can't focus. Which is really sad for me because I'm trying to get these macros done. I don't want to be sitting here at my house, which is amazing, and I love my house. But I don't want to be sitting here every single day doing this. These macro updates. I want to finish them. I want to get my role quest going. I want to unlock my expert dungeons so I can start getting tombs from that. And then I can continue unlocking the Endwalker chapter, the post Endwalker chapter. It's like sometimes life is a snowplow. You've got all of the snow that you need to pick up, and then the snowplow, or you've got all the snow that you want to play with, and then you see the snowplow coming. Alexa, stop. I've had plenty of breaks today, thank you very much. And you've got to hurry up, because all the snow is piling up, and you only have so much time left to, like, play with it all before it's taken away from you. Like, even me talking right now, I'm just complaining at the moment, when I should just forget about it. What's done is done, and I continue working on these macros, getting them done. So, Gluttony, 500. Oh. Put this in its proper spot. There we go. Gluttony. And Gluttony, is it an AoE? Yes, it is. Guillotine. 200. Guillotine. AoE. And it is a cone AoE. Gallows. Is 520. And from what I remember, Cross Reaping and Void Reaping is also Gallows and Gibbet. Now, Gallows is rear. And Gibbet must be flank. Get that 520. Yes. Soul Scythe. 180. And that is an AoE. Soul Slice is 460. And it is not an AoE. Grim Swathe. Summons your avatar to deliver an attack with a potency of 140 to all enemies in a cone before you. So that is part of my AoE. I'll go ahead and check that real quick. And this is it. And there it is, Grim Swathe. So it's already in here. These are abilities that I've already macroed in, and they're working pretty well. So now I'm just making a list. Grim Swathe Bloodstock. 340. And is that an AoE of any sort? Nope. Nightmare Scythe is 180 to all nearby enemies. Arcane Crest is a defense ability. Rest of time borrowed to sell, creating a barrow that nullifies damage totaling up to 10% of maximum HP. Hole of Death is 100 to all nearby enemies. AoE? I got a lot of AoEs. Infernal Slice, 460. Spinning Scythe, 140. AoE. No cone or anything. Hell's Egress. Nope. Not an attack. Harp, however, is an attack, and it's 300. That's actually pretty nice for ranged attack. Shadow of Death is also 300. Waxing Slice is 380. And Slice is a simple 300. Okay, so Slice, that's my base number. Anything below that, it needs to be an AoE or it is, like, not worth it. But it looks like all of them below is AoE, except for Lemur's Slice. Yeah. And I won't know about Lemur's Slice until I get to that level, so that's everything. I can't do Communio yet, because I'm not level 90. I can't do Harvest Moon just yet, because that's 82. So, what I need to be paying attention to is Gibbet, Gallows, Void Reaping, and Cross Reaping. Basically, I need to get Enshroud activated as quickly as possible. Which basically means finishing my rotation to getting to do my Gibbet or Gallows. And keep attention to that. And that's it. Basically, Reaper is nothing but just do your rotations, and the rest of my macros should figure itself out. Okay. And, did I macro in Plentiful Harvest? I don't think I did. So, because it's an AoE, it totally belongs here with Nightmare Scythe. Plentiful Harvest. I got some spaces left. How... What's the priority here? I need to execute this. Nightmare Scythe. Got Guillotine. So where is Guillotine? Guillotine is 200. Nightmare Scythe 180. Infernal Slice. Wait, why is Infernal Slice there? Isn't Infernal single? It is. That's not supposed to be there. Yeah, it's not supposed to be there. I don't know why it's there. Infernal Slice, Nightmare Slice. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, Nightmare Slice Gluttony is way up there. Where... I forget what Plentiful Harvest. There it is. So between Gluttony and Plentiful Harvest, Plentiful Harvest is stronger than Gluttony. But... it's also saying here that the potency increases up to 800. Which I didn't put in here. $800. Plenty. Full harvest. Max. It's an AoE. Was it a cone or anything? It was line. Line AoE. And actually, I'm gonna do it this way. Parentheses, bracket, max. And then 520 for the other one. Boop, boop. Min. So Plentiful Harvest is like up there. It's up there more than Gluttony. So increases Shroud gauge by 50. Wasn't the Shroud gauge the Soul gauge? Keep forgetting. Soul gauge, Shroud gauge, and Death gauge. Death gauge is Lemur. Shroud gauge signifies the strength you bond with your avatar when the gauge is successfully filled. Oh, okay, so... Soul gauge... Gluttony... Where are you, Gluttony? There you are. Grants 2 stacks of Soul Reaver. And Soul Reaver is responsible for, I think, the Gallows? It's 2 stacks of Soul Reaver. Oh, it has a soul gauge cost of 50. Right. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put Plentiful Harvest here. And how active... Ooh. It's... relatively active. Maybe I shouldn't. Instead, it might be smarter to have Plentiful Harvest in here somewhere. There we go. Yeah, unfortunately I don't have room in my rotation here. Wait a sec. Nightmare Scythe, Guillotine... Huh. Okay, I need to test this. Okay, so what I just tested was, I do have Guillotine in my Nightmare Scythe macro. But I have Guillotine here as well, and the reason why I have it there is for a visual notification that Guillotine is ready, please use it. Because it's useful as part of the rotation. Need it. Or the Shroud Gauge. I can't put the macro icon of Guillotine here, because my mental note of is like, oh, sorry, it's not available, please don't use this. So I can't do that. But then, what do I do about Plentiful Harvest whenever I'm doing this, this rotation? I have no room. And I feel like my best option is just, well, just put it here. Because it requires Immortal Sacrifice, which can only be done with Arcane Circle. Right? I don't think I have any stacks, because it doesn't activate like that. At least not yet. Grand Circle of Sacrifice, yeah. When you or your party members, then you get the Immortal Sacrifice. Also grants Blood's own circle to self, allowing you to receive stacks of Immortal Sacrifice from party members until under the effect of Circle of Sacrifice. For 6 seconds. Which, I think they put that in there, so it basically says to Plentiful Harvest, you can't use this until Blood's own circle is done. So 6 seconds later, you can use Plentiful Harvest. Which I wonder if that means that it's okay to put it in the macro, because it won't be available until 6 seconds later after Arcane Circle is done. But then... when you or a party member under this effect successfully lands a weapon skill or casts a spell, you may gain a stack of Immortal Sacrifice up to a maximum of 8. So this max should say max 8 stacks. While this one over here should just say min stacks. So I won't know for sure. Actually, I don't know how many stacks I'm going to get, but if Plentiful Harvest isn't going to be able to activate until Blood's own circle dissipates, then maybe it is okay to put Plentiful Harvest in here. And I can't use it right now because I'm not 88. Got it. Okay, and I did Solso. And I think I did Enshroud. Enshroud should be here. Enshroud is not there. It should be there. It needs to be there. Or wait, no. Enshroud needs to be over here with Gibbet and Gallows. There it is. I think it also should be with my AoE. Let's see. Do I get growth? Boom. I do get growth in this rotation. Okay. Which is even more so, meaning, like, don't just activate Guillotine as your macro 3 in the AoE. Just use that as a gauge. Which... if I use it as a gauge... maybe down here? I'll get confused. But Guillotine's up there, so maybe it'll be okay. Enshroud should be in here as well. And I've got space for it. Enshroud. See. Oh, right, because I'm not targeting anything. There you go. There it is. And I'm supposed to do one last thing. But I think that's Communio. Yeah. So I'm gonna need to put Communio somewhere. Jesus, it's just so much stuff. Cast. Maybe I'll put Solso over there. And I'll put Communio here. Cast as well. Well, that's an instant. Alexa, I'm not talking to you. Don't do that. You did not. You did not hear your name. Well, you did, but... oh... I feel like I'm hearing something. Hold on. Alright, I am back. Sorry about that. The AC technicians are here. So they are working on the AC right now. I talked to them a little bit and told them like what I did. Being in both a streamer and an animator, working in games and films and all that fun stuff. So I'm getting close to being done here, I think. I was working on Communio. and figuring out, maybe I should just pop that. Oh, I already popped it in here. And it's a cast, that's an instant, that's an instant. That's a cast, but it can be instant, or if it's outside of battle, which is why I put it in here. Gotta get some water. Always drink your H2O. I don't have anything here. What can I put here? I could put put Soul here. If I put it there, what's here? Oh, it's my scythe rotation. No, it's gotta stay there. Maybe True North can be there. So then, what do I have there? Oh. How about that? Will that work? Battle. Field. That works. The only thing that doesn't work is Shadow of Death right there. But what are you gonna do? You only have so much space. That just makes the most sense. To have the side attack be on the side, and the rear attack being on the bottom of my controls. Hold on. Sorry, the AC technicians were kind of quiet, and that's because they left. They were talking about something's up with the wires, so they're checking to make for sure that everything's okay before they power it down. Huh. Oh, I guess my mic is picking up the fan that's turbocharged right now. Go ahead and turn that down. Or at least not have it directed at me. Yeah, that's what it was looking at. Alright. 4:34. That means I've got 26 minutes to finish it up. And I'm super close, so I think I'll be getting done here pretty soon, but I won't be doing role quests, I won't be doing expert unlocks. That is just how the cookie crumbled today. That just means that I'm going to do that all tomorrow. Macros are done. I'll do my dailies in the morning, and Thunderin can do his experts, and then we'll log out, go to Jaeger, and then we'll do his experts and dailies after that. So it still works out. It's fine. Okay, Enshroud check. Arcane Circle, Plentiful Harvest. Soul, I don't know about Soul. What was it? Harvest Moon? It's up there, so I feel like gotta have it. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm taking all of these buttons that I have here as a side. These are all, like, things that I need to visually keep track of. So when they are ready to go, I can see it just in case. Plentiful Harvest, Solso, Enshroud, Gluttony. Soul Scythe. 180. I'm gonna do Soul Slice. Gwym Swathe. Okay, it shares a recast timer with Gluttony, which Gluttony's right here. There we go. That's how that's supposed to work. So I can only see, like, this needs to go, then these can go. An upward trend that I'm doing here. Gallows, give it, guillotine. Yeah, that works. Maybe I should flip this. Soul Slice seems pretty important. Can I put that in more places? There, you're right there. You got all these other things. Soul Slice. Grim Swathe. Where are you? You're down there. You're not as important. Not as important. Gluttony, on the other hand, you are pretty important with a 500. What was Grim Swathe? Shares a recast timer with Gluttony. Okay. Oh. Grim Swathe and Gluttony are the same thing. So it feels like one of them is a AoE, right? No, they're both AoEs. So why does it share a recast timer? Well, for one is 55 and the other one's 76. These are both the same. Okay. Gotcha. So, if I don't have gluttony, that's why Grimswaith is there. That makes sense. Alright, hold on. Let me just figure this out here. Um... So a single rotation needs to be... I'm getting this worked out. Infernal Slice. Then after Infernal Slice... Soul Slice, probably? Not Scythe, Slice. And then after that, go for Gluttony. And then once you do Gluttony, then you're either doing... Gibbet or Gallows. Let's just do Gallows... No, Gibbet for now. That's supposed to be here. And then if you do the rotation enough... I was doing like a lot of things in there. So after that is Enshroud, and then it goes back to these things. Right? Let's try that. Check it again. It really takes a long while for you to get Enshroud. No, I think I'm missing something here. There is something in here that's making it go again. And you know what? It's probably... It's doing gallows and then gallows again. Let's check again. I could watch a replay, but... If that's true, that means I need to slow down on this macro here. And make it a little bit more streamlined. So that doesn't happen. I can control this. Okay, and something's happening here with Soul Slice. It is not activating. Soul Slice. Soul Slice. That's because it's part of the global rotation. Okay. I think that means I need to create another Reaper. Cut this, I'm gonna throw this over here. Cut this and move this over. Let's do it here as well. AC Soul Slice. Right? Yeah. Wait. Dot one. Soul Slice. It didn't do it. Am I not spelling this correctly? Oh, I can't do it there. Gotcha. Yeah, I can't do it here. Which means that Soul Slice needs to be a little bit more important than Nightmare Slice. Huh. Yeah. It's the same. Soul Slice and Infernal Slice are the same potency. So I should probably have Soul Slice up here. Bloodstock. Here we go, Bloodstock. Summons your avatar to do 340. Stack count will reduce to 1 when already under the effect of Soul Reaver. So this is more important. I can get the stack. thing. I also need to get rid of this, and I need to put it in here. Oh, it's already in here. Excuse me. Unveiled gibbet. Yeah, I see it. It is activating on this part here, so it can't. It needs to be this small in order for it to work properly. Oh man, that looked cool. I'll be able to eye that later. I want to get this down, so... Shadow of Death. Slice. Waxing Slice. Infernal Slice. Soul Slice. Gluttony. This is... what's good than that. So, Infernal Slice should definitely have, Soul... I should have Soul Slice. Yeah, it has Soul Slice. And then it needs... Gluttony. Yeah, it's an instant. So, it can happen... here. Increase the soul gauge by 50. This requires 50 soul gauge, so I can put Gluttony here. AC. Gluttony. And that Gluttony will help with Gibbet and Gallows. Unveiled Gibbet is a 400. Where is Gibbet and Gallows? That was Enhanced Gibbet. Because from the looks of it... Bloodstock. For some reason... Oh my gosh, I didn't change? No one told me. Oh man. You guys were seeing all the things. Well, it's fine. So I'm seeing Bloodstock change things. See, it's like Unveiled Gallows now. An Unveiled Gallows. 400. 340, so it's powerful, more powerful. So I think that's already working for me. And then once I do Enshroud, see, that should be... That should have been working like it's supposed to. There's a part of me that feels like I need to do more. Void Reaping. The next Cross Reaping. Do enhanced damage. The next Void Reaping will do enhanced damage. Yeah, yep. Okay, so I think this whole combo is correct. And I'm starting to get my alerts that it is 5 o'clock. Alright. I'm gonna cut stream off, but I'm gonna continue working on this off stream. Let's go ahead and do the outro, I guess. Whatever outro I really have. So the next stream that I'm going to have is going to be tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will break for lunch at 1 o'clock. I'll come back about 2 o'clock, 2:30, depending on how long it takes for me to cook and eat and watch a show. And then we will come back after that and finish stream at 5 o'clock, just like we did today. The plan is, we will do double dailies, just like we did this morning, with Thunderin starting first. And before we log out, we will also unlock the Expert Roulette's dungeons. There are 2 of them, so it shouldn't take very long. And then we'll log into Jaeger and do the exact same thing. We'll do his dailies, we'll do the Expert Roulette, and then after that, we should, in between all of that, we should be able to do role quests for both Thunderin and Jaeger. I don't know if we'll even get close to moving forward with the MSQ. But we'll see where we'll land, as we get through it. And then, yeah. What did I have scheduled for the next time we do City Skylines? Current currently don't have it up right now. I'll have to double check my schedule. I think, we might be doing it Saturday, but I will double check on that. Feel free to come by tomorrow and ask me when I'm streaming this weekend, or wait until I get the announcement on Discord, my Discord, to let you know when that is happening. I'm still very sorry about being very bouncy with my schedule, but real life comes first, and I've got friends to hang out with, so once that has all been taken care of, I still will stream on the weekend. One time during one of those 3 options that I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's go ahead and clear out. And we'll see you next time.